Have you heard about the ship that sails without a crew? A ship without a crew that travels around the world, bringing with it good fortune to those who see it and bad weather to those who don't. The Flying Dutchman is one of the most famous legends in all of maritime history, said to be cursed for eternity to sail the seas. Its reappearance is said to foretell great disasters both at sea and on land. But where did this legend come from? Well, there are many theories. One of the earliest known written accounts of the Flying Dutchman can be found in an 18th century Dutch novel called The History of the Unfortunate Fall of the House of Lancaster by Samuel Richardson. In it, the ghost ship is mentioned as a mere superstition, but nonetheless, it's said to appear to those about to meet their end at sea. However, the story really starts taking shape in the 19th century. In 1840, a Dutch sailor named Peter Bruegel the Elder painted a picture of a ghostly ship sailing through a storm, complete with a ghostly crew of skeletal figures at the helm. The painting was titled The Flying Dutchman, and though he didn't invent the legend, he certainly helped to popularize it. Not long after, in 1841, an article appeared in a New York newspaper telling the tale of a sailor who, after drinking heavily one night, convinced his fellow sailors that he could actually see the Flying Dutchman. When they turned to him for help, he led them straight into the rocks. This story helped cement the legend of the Flying Dutchman as an harbinger of doom. As the legend grew, so did the lore surrounding the ship. Some say it was cursed by a witch, while others say it was punished by God for trying to defy nature. There are even some who say that the ship is merely a mirage, only appearing to those who have lost their minds. But perhaps the most romantic version of the legend is that of a doomed love story. In this version, the Flying Dutchman is a metaphor for the endless search for love and connection. The ship may appear and disappear, but its presence is always felt, just like the memory of a lost love. There are hundreds of stories about the Flying Dutchman, and no two are exactly alike. But one thing is for sure: this legend has captured the human imagination like few others. The Flying Dutchman may be doomed to sail the seas forever, but its story will live on in the hearts and minds of those who hear its tale. So, have you ever seen the Flying Dutchman? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who's remember, if you hear the sound of drums in the night and see a ship sail past in the moonlight, don't get too excited. It could be the ghost of the Flying Dutchman, and you wouldn't want to be caught up in its curse, would you? Thanks for watching. See you next time.